Hey guys, welcome back to this week's pull, or as Josh would always like to say,
What are we reading?
And before we get started, guys, we do want to say that we are recording this on September 11th early, and we just want to say, if you're a North American listener, you guys understand what that means here in the States, and remember to commemorate the day, remember the people who fell, and remember the first responders who acted so heroically. It's kind of weird in a time where our nation feels so divided. That was probably the last time I can recall the nation feeling kind of as a unified front against something else, or just coming together and feeling very patriotic. For all of our listeners who are too young to remember this, fuck you. But anyways, guys, like they say, never forget. And before we also get started, we also want to say that we know that last week we missed putting anything up, and life just gets in the way sometimes. So before we get into today's reading, real quick, we're just going to list off the stuff that last week we would recommend if you are curious of our recommendations.
All right, Thanos Legacy, number 1. It was a one-shot. Captain America 3. Avengers number 7. Death of Inhumans number 3. Silver Surfer Annual. Cosmic Ghost Rider number 3.
All right, so guys, if you guys ended up picking up any of those, let us know what your favorite was. Mine was Captain America issue 3.
Mine would... Man, it's tough. I would probably have to say Captain America issue number 3 from Marvel. That or actually Death of Inhumans.
Yeah,
Death of Inhumans number 3.
Good.
It was an intense issue.
All right, now that we have cleaned house, let us go over what we're going to be covering over today. ICEMAN comes back with another issue 1, so we'll be going over that. Infinity Wars number 3. Journey into Mystery, The Birth of Krakoa, which is a one-shot. Venom First Host number 3. The Amazing Spiderman number 5, and finally Fantastic Four number 2. So without further ado, ICEMAN number 1 by let's see, who is it? Cinna Grace and Nathan Stockman. Josh, how did you feel about this issue?
Oh, well, it's definitely a book that is classic, with Josh's classic catchphrase, if he can actually talk, is this book is not meant for me. It's meant for somebody else.
No.
This book is definitely pandering to a certain community, a certain kind of
demographic.
market, a demographic.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't do anything for me. I will say the ending is a little intriguing if you are someone who is a fan of ICEMAN before his solo run. This is definitely something that comes up at the end that would get you kind of intrigued. I know a lot of X-Men fans that come in here that pull a lot of the X-Men issues, and I think that they're going to be pretty excited about the ending of it.
We gotta go right with you. This issue is not meant for me. I am not its target demographic. This book, while it's not all bad, I will say there are moments in this book that I went, that's not bad. That's pretty good. It's definitely tailing off from his last solo series. It's just a continuation of that, renumbering issue 1. But for me, this is just not something I would ever want to pick up. If I didn't have it accessible to me in the shop, I would never read this.
Yeah.
If we all know what's gone on with Iceman the past 7 or so years in the comic books. So I'm guessing if you read his previous series and you enjoyed it, this is something to pick up, but this is definitely not for me.
Yeah, same here. It's definitely not for me. So Jake, would you like to unveil our rating scale for this week?
Okay, so our rating scale this week comes from Fantastic Four issue 2, and I will give Iceman number 1 1.5 Narwallabies.
You know what? I will give it a little bit more. I give it a 1.75 Narwallabies.
All right. Yeah. Moving on to Infinity Wars number 2 by Jerry Duggan and number 3, sorry, by Mike Duggan or Jerry Duggan and Mike Deodato. I'm already getting an Infinity Warps. So. But no, this issue, I gotta say, Infinity Wars is one of those events that the Infinity Countdown stuff did nothing for me. I stopped
horrible.
it. Infinity Wars 1 was pretty cool. Issue 2 was even better. Infinity Wars issue 3 is the best of the series so far.
Yeah.
This is something that you want as an event, to continuously get better. Every issue gradually is better and built on the last one. This is easily my favorite Infinity Wars so far.
I agree. It's really creative. It's fun, but it's also written well. The action's really good. The artwork's great. And it's really weird because I feel like I said, this is Duggan's last chance with me, because Infinity Countdown, I stuck out through the whole thing, and I didn't like it. And then it comes back with Infinity Wars Prime, the prelude to this, the prelude after Countdown.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, this is pretty interesting. And this right here, this 90s Josh is just like creaming in his pants over this.
This is what your events should be. They should be fun. They should kind of rewrite some history, but not in a way that makes longtime readers feel shafted for having, invested so much time and energy and money into reading your books. It kind of explores some interesting ideas, especially with Loki and what he's saying. Some of the Infinity Warp stuff start to kind of rear their head in this book, and I think that is just so cool to look at. And then I got to give it up to Mike Deodato for this one splash page he did, where it just across the entire thing, it's beautiful. And I mean, you got to look at this book. You got to tilt it every which way and look like what is all in here. There's a lot to unpack in that one splash page, and you guys will know it when you see it. But I absolutely love this book. Gets a little existential at some point, and it makes you wonder about the Marvel Universe at its inception. So, with that, Josh, what do you grade Marvel Infinity Wars #3?
All right. I'm giving it, because of nostalgic purposes. I run on nostalgic purposes. Because two of my favorite storylines, Infinity Gauntlet, even though it's overrated, and the amalgam, Marvel versus DC.
And this is like,
this is both. It's an amalgam of those two. So I'm giving this a solid 4.25.
Wow. Okay, so considerably higher than I was going to go. I'm going 3.5 Narwhalabies. I'm really enjoying it, but I'm waiting for the gut punch.
Yeah.
Waiting for that gut punch to kick in. But no, I really dug that book. I had a lot of fun reading it. We are moving on to Journey into Mystery #1. It's a one-shot by Dennis Hopeless, and the artist, I'm going to completely butcher this name, Jabril Morissette Fan. Anyway, this is just a little one-shot about basically Nick Fury and his Howling Commandos landing on Krakoa, which is the island mutant. It's a mutant that is also an island. Cool little story. I dug it. It's not too hard of a read. It doesn't take up a lot of your time, but it does make you wonder about the inception of Krakoa, because I'm a little fuzzy on the character, quote-unquote character of Krakoa, because I know it's a living island that's also a mutant, kind of like Mogo, the living planet, as a Green Lantern kind of thing. It's a little bit like that, but it also kind of makes you wonder, is what happens in this book the reason it's sentient, or is that the reason it mutated? I don't know, but I really enjoyed this book. If you're a Nick Fury and the Howling Commandos fan, I think this is absolutely a must pick up.
It was good. I liked it. I kind of felt like it was a little bit of a pointless book, like one I'm going to forget about. But yeah, if you are a Nick Fury fan, this definitely is a good book for you. But see, this is also coming from a guy who never really cared for Nick Fury. Like, I would never want to read a Nick Fury solo title.
Okay, I will say this: if you're not a Nick Fury and the Howling Commandos fan, if you're kind of a horror fan, this might be up your alley, and
especially like an old school cult classic kind of horror movie.
It's got that kind of classics illustrated feel.
Giant ant attacking, a small little town. Yeah,
there's something horror about this. I got a little bit of a sense of kind of Swamp Thing or Man Thing from it too. That feel. Yeah. But it also feels, like I said, it does feel old school. This feels like it's supposed to be 60s Marvel, and if you guys look at the main cover, I think actually it's the variant cover. It's got the Marvel Comics Group logo up top that they used to do in the 60s. So it's a callback to that. I thought it was a lot of fun to read. Like you said, it's not memorable, but it's a good read. So what would you rate it?
I'm giving it a solid 2.75.
I'm right there with you.
Narwhalabies.
2.75 Narwhalabies.
Oh, wow.
All right, and moving on to Venom First Host #3 by Mike Costa and Mark. Is it Mike Costa? Yeah, and Mark Bagley. You know what, Josh? You tell me. What did you think of this book?
Well, this Venom First Host thing is kind of going up and down a little bit. The first issue was kind of cool. The second issue for me just dropped off. This one kind of picks back up, and it's not. It's not a bad read. I don't have a hard time reading it, but it's the same reason why I don't pick this kind of book is the same reason why I don't normally pick up a Venom run. And it's really, for me, it's really hard to read this and give it high praise when Cates is doing what he's doing on his Venom title.
Right.
But the second issue dropped off. This issue does pick back up. The coolest part about it is, once again on this, there's another kind of like first appearance in this book, and
so all your collectors out
Venom,
there,
all your collectors out there, these Venom books, keep an eye out on them, because all these Venom books keep going up in price because they keep introducing new concepts that haven't been touched, since the symbiote was created, and they're also constantly creating new characters, and for some reason they are going up in price.
You think about it, the Venom mythos, the Clintar, whatever you want to call them, you could almost argue you can make an entire universe out of that the way the Green Lanterns are made in the DC universe.
Yeah.
Like, you can literally do an entire run of Green Lanterns and all the different lanterns and all that stuff. You could probably do that with Venom.
See, Venom, and we talked about this millions of times before. We always thought that Venom is more of a character that doesn't really need an ongoing solo series.
No.
It just never seems that intriguing. But there's concepts about the symbiote, not Venom, but as the symbiotes, that if they were handed to a good writer, could be done very well too, and so you would understand why it would deserve a solo run.
Yeah.
And Cates is kind of introducing this concept and kind of introducing it and then making it where you kind of go, okay, this is why they make solo Venom runs, because this is when you get a good writer on it, then it's good.
Expand the mythos.
Yeah, if Costa is good at writing Venom, I will give him that. But for me, it just never was something that I just felt the need to pick up. But this third issue definitely does pick up from the second issue, which was kind of a big drop off.
Yeah, issue 2, I thought, I don't even want to finish this. After reading this, I'm a little bit more intrigued again, but I will say that there's just no characterization happening in this book. There's no character for me to like attach myself to, and I gotta say the most boring part of Venom First Host for me is Eddie Brock. There's just nothing about him in this book that is intriguing in any way. He just kind of seems like this.
He's just a man.
But he's kind of
muscles.
A sad man. Like, he's just boring. He's very vanilla and
obsessive.
Yeah.
Over, he's very. If you think about it, the way they portray him in this is
like
very weak.
It's like a dramatic romance book almost, but with symbiotes. It's kind of weird. But this one definitely got me a little more excited, and I think it's just for the fact that they do introduce this new character and this new concept, and I go, that's pretty neat. I'm not exactly keen on the overall look of it, but I believe that look is going to continue to morph once this thing keeps going, maturing, I should say. So with that, guys, I'm going to say this one is, I'm going to give it just 2 Narwhalabies.
I give it 2.25 Narwhalabies. Mostly just because Eddie Brock's just a man, but with muscles.
Yeah. All right. And we're moving on to The Amazing Spider-Man number 5 by Nick Spencer and Ryan Ottley. And, this team, for me, just seems to keep hitting it out of the park. Yeah. I always look forward to Spider-Man coming out, the new issue, and it never seems to disappoint. Some issues are better than others, but I'm never let down by this book. In this one, there are some great moments. There's a lot of great one-liners, some great character moments. What I like is Nick Spencer never shies away from MJ being a part of the book. Even if it's just a little bit here and there, there are certain Spider-Man runs you read and when him and MJ are an item, and there are issues, 5, 6, 7, 8 issues where MJ just doesn't even appear. And one of the biggest draws for me is that MJ and Peter are back together in this book, so I like that she's a consistent character showing up to remind us that, hey, Peter's got this life and his Spider-Man life going on. But I gotta say, I think this is one of my favorite issues since issue 2.
I agree. I put this I think if I was to rate the issues in an order of my favorite, it'd be issue 1, then this issue, then issue 2.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I really love this issue. There's a lot of fun things that are going on in it. And,
there are quite a
lot of serious moments in it too.
But there's a few laugh out loud moments where we literally we were out loud just chuckling.
It's just this is a good example of how Amazing Spider-Man's life is, how Spider-Man's life is supposed to be. You have these serious moments. These moments of learning, these moments of comedic value. You have all these things, and all that put together, you get Spider-Man. And this book definitely does a good job of portraying that.
Well, what I really like is seeing how vital it is for Peter Parker to be both Peter and Spider-Man. Because if you've been reading this, you see what happens when they get separated into 2 entities, and on their own, they're just not very interesting to read.
Shitty. They're shitty. They're just not that great of people.
Yeah, you're splitting apart somebody's ego from their pathos, kind of, and it's separately, those things just don't work. They have to be intertwined. So I really dig that concept that Spencer's digging into here. Some great moments with Taskmaster and Black Ant that I thought were absolutely hilarious. At the very end, they kind of start to finally get around what they've been teasing every issue so far. So what I like is that this series is just building on top of itself really well, and there's an overarching story, and that right there is more than a lot of other books can be saying. So for this one, for Amazing Spider-Man number 5, I'm going to give it 4 Narwhalabies.
4 Narwallabies.
4 Narwallabies. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I'm actually at 4.25 Narwallabies.
Oh, okay.
I keep going
You just say-
2.25 above you today. I don't know what it
You
is.
just gotta
But no,
best me.
I also, well, you know, the artwork, Ryan Otley's artwork is amazing. But also,
is.
like I was telling you before we started recording, I never realized how badly I need a Taskmaster and Black Ant
Yeah.
on like just a little mini series, like
Or just like a
4
one
issues,
shot. I'd
or a
even-
one shot.
yeah.
And I want it done. I want Nick Spencer to write it, and I want Otley to do the artwork. And I just want a one shot of that.
Yeah.
Is that too much to ask?
Probably.
I mean, if they can do an Iceman
I was about to say.
ongoing series, or they can dish out some other bullshit that's like just a one shot, and
Yeah.
then I mean, totally. But just thinking about it is damaging my liver.
Just thinking about it damages my liver.
Yeah.
There's your guys' code phrase for 20% off any book that is not on your pull list. And moving on to Fantastic Four #2 by Dan Slott and Sarah Pichelli. And I am so delighted to be able to say that this book is awesome. I loved this issue. This is my favorite issue from Marvel this week. Dan Slott just continues to show that he can take the weird, nebulous concept and ideas of what you can do with science and the universe and the laws of physics, and how you can just make it so fucking weird and interesting that you never get bored reading this book. And not only that, but he gets the character interactions so right. That, yeah, there are a lot of like current pop culture references and things like that that maybe will throw you off if you're an older reader. You know, I myself am not that old. Yes, I was alive during 9/11, but I'm still not that old. I can still appreciate these references, but I can also see how they turn off maybe a little bit of an older reader. But I love this book, and if anybody's a fan of Saga, there's a character introduced in this book. Also, first appearance of a character in this book, guys. So any more collectors that are interested, reminds me a lot of a character from Saga that is early on in the book that haunts, you know, another character. I love this character design, though. Sarah Pichelli just knocked it out of the park. Actually, the art in this entire book is absolutely gorgeous to watch or look at, and I love the fact that they're not the Fantastic Four in this, but they're still the Future Foundation, and they're bringing all these characters back that were, I remember being a part of the Future Foundation back when Spiderman was a part of it.
Well, yeah, that plus also, I mean, weren't they all on the same raft together and
The Secret
before
Wars?
Secret Wars happened?
Yeah.
Where Reed and Sue and
They
all
were.
them ended up getting lost. So it's kind of cool to see that when they got lost, that they were all still together, like they didn't,
Right,
all
and
die off.
you know, I love it. I love seeing Dragon Man and Franklin and Valeria, I think that's her name. But I don't know. There's something very special about this book. I would absolutely recommend this. This is my favorite Marvel book, and the way this thing ends, yeah, I am so excited for the next issue with the way this thing leaves off. What'd you think?
I know a lot of people, after reading #1, they were a little worried because it didn't give them the feeling what they want. I think it's mostly just because they wanted that big bang. They wanted like,
Right.
okay, Fantastic Four, boom, right here. This right here, this is great. This is what people were wanting to read for issue #1. And this was a really great issue. The artwork is fantastic. The science, I love the fact that we're taking this back to the idea that they are explorers. They're not really
Exactly.
superheroes as much as they are explorers.
They're scientists.
And they're scientists. They want to explore, and that's what they're doing in this book. And that's what it tells you, and it's fantastic. I do also like the fact that Reed kind of looks like John Krasinski.
I let you have that one.
Yeah, I know. And he does look like John Krasinski, and if you guys know me, I really want, since now they got Fantastic Four over to Marvel,
Hopefully.
I really want John Krasinski to play Reed.
And
Hashtag Krasinski for Fantastic.
well, and his wife Emily Blunt as Sue would be great too,
I
right?
would, but I'd be okay with just as long as I got Krasinski. I'm okay. But Blunt, I mean, like Sue looks. They drew her to kind of, in my opinion, she looks kind of like Emily Blunt too. There's one panel in here. It just looks like a more humbled version of like a scene from Quiet Place.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's my main thing from the takeaway on that. But
That's your main thing to take away from
that's
this
why
issue.
we would take away from this issue. No, but this is it was great. It's action packed. The story is furthering along. It's smart.
It's very intelligent. That's what my favorite thing is. Like
it's everything that I expected Slott to do with the Fantastic Four
Right.
issue, and that's the reason why when I'm sitting here, like when they announced that Slott was going to be doing Fantastic Four, I was like, that is the only person. That's the only writer that's out right now that would be perfect to write for Fantastic Four.
Right, and I absolutely agree. He's taking these very big ideas and he's not shoving them down your throat, but if you really think about it, a character like Franklin Richards who has the ability to create entire universes, you're letting a child play God. I love that idea. So, yeah, this is an absolute must pick up for any Marvel fan if you ask me. If you were iffy on issue 1, give it issue 2 because this thing has me so excited. And the only reason I can't go higher on my grade is because I'm even more excited for issue 3. So
And
I'm
you're
waiting
afraid to go too high?
Yeah, because I'm like, can I go? But I'm going 4.5, humbly 4.5 Narwallabies for issue 2 of Fantastic Four.
I'm going 4.25 Norwallabies.
Okay.
I'm all about that 2.5 life.
Apparently,
Okay?
man, you like to live your life in quarters.
I do like to live my life in quarters.
All right, guys. Well, that is all we have for you today. Before you click off, though, we want to say that any of our listeners who are interested in getting these books, or maybe they're just feeling a little too lazy, or they just can't get out to their local comic shop this weekend or this week, go ahead and message us on Facebook. In the description below, you will find our Facebook page. Send us a message. If you guys are interested in any of these books, let us know. We will mail you a copy. All you gotta do is pay for the issue. We will ship it to you for free. Just let us know. So like I said, check out the description below, guys, and definitely check out the channel for the DC and independent reviews that are already up on the channel, and we will see you then, and if not, we promise to see you guys next week.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Take care, guys.